Hi, Genki Call here with your Soulforge offerings for the week of September 20th, 2021. We are going to start off with the legendaries in here. We've got the Dark Monolith, Chief Stronghorn, Taloka, and Regent Khalif. I've never even used Regent Khalif, ever. Oh, it's an either or. So, gain 4 magic and either gain life or deal damage to all enemies or gain 10 more magic. Very nice and all, but I hate this kind of troop in general. He has 25% chance to summon the Dao when he dies, so, that's cool. He can summon up a Mythic. But I don't even know that I have this troop. I don't know, but not worth it to me personally. Taloka is pretty fun. He does scatter damage, and if there's a storm, he deals triple damage. So at low enough levels, he can do quite a bit of damage, provided that there's a storm. This is pretty cool. Deal 10 damage to a random enemy on 4+ gem matches. Then we have Chief Stronghorn, who pulls an enemy to the front, deals damage to them, boosted by his attack, life, and armor. And all Tauros allies gain 1 attack, armor, and life on 4+ gem matches. And the Dark Monolith will do damage to the 2 weakest enemies and will deal double damage if he's damaged. He gains 3 magic when an enemy casts a spell, so that means that every time an enemy casts, this number is going up by 3. And he has skull damage reduction by 50%. In my opinion, none of these are worth spending 800 diamonds on. I would absolutely recommend saving your diamonds for either weapons or mythics. As far as the mythics, we have Stonehammer in here, who was very helpful when we were in Kazil doing an event there. I managed to pull him, I think, from the World Event shop, which was really awesome for me. He does have skull damage reduction by 80%, but of course having a mythic in the front, it's a little difficult having a mythic in front. But he stuns and burns all enemies, creates a mix of 22 red and brown gems, and gains life. So he's a fantastic tank up there. I like the troop a lot, but he's very situational. How often are you going to need that much red and brown for your team? So something to keep in mind on him. Zathenos is always there. Scotty, Scotty is what Scotty is. She freezes and mana burns the first 2 enemies, knocks them to the last position, and summons Queen Mab if you have a free spot open. So the mana burn is damage to the troop equal to the mana they've collected. So if they have 10 mana, when she casts, it'll do 10 damage plus her magic, which is 38 for me, so it would be 48 damage. She's very limited, in my opinion. Queen Mab, on the other hand, I think is a lot more useful. But the one thing that Scotty has going for her is this persistent ice storm. Unless she gets stunned, every single turn she's going to be calling up an ice storm, and that's very valuable with the right team, but I don't think it's enough to want to craft her personally. Pan. Pan is a favorite of mine. I love Pan. A lot of other YouTubers aren't impressed with Pan, but I think he's very good when he is paired with Queen Beatrix especially. So he's going to do damage to 3 random enemies and knock them to the back. And here is what makes him so useful and why I love him. All wild folk allies gain 1 life and magic when matching 4+ gems. So you stick Beatrix in here, who is a wild folk, and you're going to have magic up and up and up and up, and this number is going to skyrocket, and Queen Beatrix damage is going to skyrocket. And I think they just have such beautiful synergy. Just throw it in there with the Mountain Crusher or you can throw the Glaive of Many Goats in there. It's just a really fun team to use, and it's actually really powerful in delve situations. As you can imagine, if you've got that horde level to 100, then he's going to do a lot more damage. So I like Pan a lot personally. I've also been enjoying the Astral Mother because I found a good team for her of all centaurs. And let's see, Artema is one of them, and I put up a video about it. I put it's got the word viable in it, so if you do a search in my channel for the word viable, then you'll find the team. But she removes all gems of a chosen color. She does true scatter damage boosted by the gems removed with a ×5 boost ratio, which can be significant, especially when delving, and that's where I like to use her, is when I'm delving. She's been fun down there just as something different. And she has a 40% chance to give Reflect to a random ally at the start of each turn, which is nice. You know, it's not a really effective status effect unless they're doing a ton of damage to you, and then it can be pretty significant. But as far as what I might recommend crafting this week, if you're dying to use your gems and you just can't stand waiting till next week, my personal favorite would be Pan. However, I will say we have started a new Mythic cycle, and if there's something that you want more, hold on to your diamonds, because it could be coming up again soon. It may not, we don't know. But, you know, if you're not absolutely wild about a Mythic, the only reason to craft it besides just not being able to hold on to your diamonds and just having to spend that money, or aka your diamonds, would be if you need to get the power level up and you're stuck on getting a Mythic. So let's say in Pan's Veil you're at level 9 and you need a Mythic to get past power level 9, then you would want to craft Pan. And whereas for the Astral Mother, if your Divinian Fields is stuck at power level 9, then you could craft her to get past that. But you can see where they're from just by clicking, click, and it's right here. Okay? As for weapons, there are 2 exciting weapons in here. First of all, exciting to me, I should say, the Doomed Librum. I must have all of the Doomed books now because the Doomed books keep kicking my butt in Guild Wars, and so the Doomed books are really situational. They're really only going to be super useful to you in Guild Wars, so keep that in mind. If you're not wanting it for Guild Wars, don't get this Doom. Save your diamonds for something else. And as far as Dooms go, the best Dooms you can get, in my opinion, are the ones that create Doom Skulls. And this is not one of those. However, it's really effective in Guild Wars defense teams. So I will be crafting this right now. Ba-doom! Now, another thing to keep in mind with Dooms is the fact that you have to have Forge Scrolls to upgrade them. And Forge Scrolls are really hard to come by. You only get them when we have a Tower of Doom event, and those come, what, every 12 weeks? Something like that? And it's a different color each time, so seems like green wasn't that long ago, so it could be half a year before we have more green Forge Scrolls available at this point in time. The next weapon, the one that I really love from this week, is the Cobaltine Wand. I love this weapon. I love this type of weapon. We're exploding gems, granting a random status effect to all, in this case, Shentang allies, and then summoning a Shentang troop. This weapon has amazing synergy with Yao Guai specifically, because Yao Guai is transforming purple to red, and then you have all this red on the board, and if you don't have any Mech Forest left, blow up those red gems, keep them from your enemies, and pull them back into Yao Guai and repeat the process. It's just beautiful. I love it. I love this weapon. So I would, if you like this kind of thing, I would absolutely recommend crafting this. And the colors are the same as the Jar of Eyes and some of those others that do the same type of thing. This one is Shentang specific. So anyway, let me see. On some of these other things in here, the light staff I thought was interesting. Deal damage to an enemy and deal double if there's a light storm, and it creates a light storm. So if you don't have Stormcaller unlocked yet, Stormcaller gives you a persistent light storm as its third trait. So if you can't afford to trait Stormcaller, or you haven't unlocked it yet, this is an option to have a light storm and do some double damage on it as well. And it's only 75 diamonds, so that's really cheap for a weapon. Next up we have the hook sword, and this is another type of weapon I really like. So it's damage to an enemy boosted by allies from Shentang, and again in this case, then create a mix of 6 red and yellow gems for each Shentang ally. So what I want to do at this point is I want to head into into Shentang, Shentang, and then we go into the troops here, and I'm going to sort it by base rarity because that's just what I like to do, and sort by red and yellow and see what troops it would boost. And you can see there are a lot of troops here that it would boost. A ton of troops here. So I think when you're using a Shentang team, this is going to be a super useful weapon. So let me go back into the Soulforge here. Weapons! Hook sword. Let's see what its colors are. So it creates red and yellow, and it uses purple and brown, which isn't ideal. It would be much more useful if it fed back into itself. However, I am still going to craft this because I have the diamonds, and I love this kind of weapon personally, so I am going to craft it. However, unless you have a specific team in mind, or you just really want to put together a Shentang team, you might not craft it yourself if you are low on diamonds, or if you're really wanting a mythic sometime soon, because those diamonds are precious. Sky Hero is one that I have seen people using in meta teams. Couldn't tell you the meta team off the top of my head, but I have seen people using this particular weapon in their teams. Destroy a column for every yellow gem destroyed, create 4 red gems with a boost ratio of ×4. So that is going to be a ton of red gems. So this could actually be seriously useful. Gosh, it's 300 more diamonds. How many do I have? Ah! No, I can't afford it. I think this is going to be a super, super weapon. If you need lots of red, it doesn't feed into itself, but when you destroy the column, you're going to get full effect for whatever you destroy, so you'll get a few yellow gems back to fill this up, so that's something. But I would totally craft that right now if I had some more diamonds, but I am getting rather low, and I don't want to transform my shards at this point, so I'm going to hold off on that. I might do it later in the week, I don't know. I'm keeping it in mind. I want all the things. They're shiny and pretty, and I want them. I can't have them all. So, alright, I believe that is it for this week's Soulforge, and I hope that this video has been helpful to you. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.